So you want to make Lil Baby emotional melodies. If that's what you want in this video, I'm gonna help you, okay? So basically, this type of melodies I'm talking about, it's especially from the new album, okay? The wild album called WHAM, you got what I mean? There's not a lot of emotional melodies in there, but there's a couple of emotional melodies there that are very good, you got what I mean, that really have a good vibe. So if that's what you want, you got what I mean, today I'm gonna explain to you how can you do that, okay? So basically, just before we start, don't forget to subscribe and let's jump on FL Studio. So we are right here on FL Studio, and I just I made a beat, you got what I mean. I know that we are talking about like how to make a melody, you got what I mean, but I made the beat as well. Just it's good to have the beat so you can understand, okay, how to make even the beat all in general, you got what I mean. But our focus here is on the melody, okay? But so let me just play the melody for you first, so that you can know if it's the way you expect it. But yeah, so let me play this melody. You know what I mean? You can see that it has a vibe. Maybe there's some things that are not exactly, but of course I don't want to copy 100%. But you can see that you have the vibe. You know what I mean? That vibe of like more like a vocal, and then like kind of like a more slow vibe, more chill vibe, and you can see even the drums play. Less hard, you know what I mean, but that's a separate point. But yeah, so let me explain how I made this melody, okay? So let's start with the main melody, which is very important, okay? So this is the main melody, okay? Let me just make sure everything is fine right here. Oops. Okay, so this is the main melody, okay? For the thing is, I use the plugin, so first I have to disable this plugin so that you first can understand how it was sounding before. I just have to, yeah. It's already sounding pretty good. You have the slow vibe, you got what I mean, not like the piano Lil Baby vibe, like you got what I mean. And something that it's kind of repetitive, but you can see that you have a change right here, so that it's not so boring, you know what I mean, because without this couldn't have been so boring, so repetitive, you know what I mean. And sometimes repetitive, it doesn't mean that's bad, but it's like it can't be too much repetitive, you know what I mean. But yeah, sometimes repetitive, when it sounds good, it's good as well, you know what I mean. So that's it. So let's jump on the mix, you know what I mean, for this, okay? So I use the Metric IQ, and I just did what everybody does, and what always you can. It's not something that it's like necessary, but it's something like that. It always helps to make the thing sound better, you know what I mean? So you just cut some low frequencies, some high frequencies, and you just touch a little bit on the middle frequencies and the low frequencies, just to sometimes like add some air to the especially because you're cutting right here, add some air to the melody in general, you know what I mean. And then actually I have a reverb. This is something from my template, but I didn't even use. The reverb I used was from Valhalla Supermassive, which I think is very good, you know what I mean, especially in terms of reverb. And the truth is, a lot of the times when I use Valhalla Supermassive, I already think that the main reverb or whatever, it's already pretty good again. So I think it was probably on 50% right here, just lowered to 16, then I lowered it a little bit here, you get what I mean, because I just felt it was necessary, and then I used half time right here, and here's the difference, you get what I mean, with half time, okay? And just to let you know, half time, you can see that I'm using demo version, so you can use half time as well, because yes, you have to pay about like $12, something like that. You get what I mean? Which I want to pay in the future, but until I do it, that I can use it. You get what I mean? Basically, you can, on every project you can use one time. Okay. And the second thing that you can do is save presets. But you're thinking like, okay, if I can use at least one time, that's already pretty cool. You get what I mean? So that's what I did. You get what I mean? So this is how it sounds now. More the slow vibe. And actually, I was making on 130 BPM, but I made on 120. 120, 130, and 140. It's the amount of you don't want 106 like those little baby piano melodies that you are probably the most famous. You get what I mean? Wanted something more slow, and I was already sounding pretty good. You get what I mean? But I wanted something more slow, more dark. You get what I mean? With more low frequencies, you know what I mean? And then, yeah, that's what I did. Open a little bit image stereo, but yeah, that's kind of like, doesn't really matter. You get what I mean? It's good, but it's not like the reason why it's sounding good. You get what I mean? That's the reason why it's going to sound good with drums, but not the reason why it's sounding good. Okay. So next thing is I will call this like something to complement the main melody. And my goal with complementing my melody, I want something that kind of has like an ambient. Specifically, the goal here, it's something that has like a lot more high frequencies. You get what I mean? Because on the main melody we had a lot of low frequencies. Now much more high frequencies. So look at that. You can hear that there's more high frequencies, you get what I mean? Because you don't want just low frequencies, because the main melody, you have a lot already, you get what I mean? So I just wanted something to complement, you get what I mean? And for the mix, you get what I mean? Of course, some image stereo and blah, blah, blah. I used Fruit Parametric IQ, and I didn't even use reverb. And yeah, you can notice that I didn't need way more, you got what I mean? So this is how it sounds together. You can see it complements. And just to let you know, I used these basically sounds, they all come from Splice, okay? And yeah, I think it's very good sounds, okay? And just to let you know as well, you got what I mean, I basically have a program which is in the link in the description, which I'm gonna help you, like, I'm gonna go in depth on how to make little baby emotional melodies, you got what I mean? And as well there, I'm gonna have like a big pack which sounds like these ones that you're hearing right now. So if you want that, is in the link in the description, okay? So let's go talk about the next thing, you get what I mean? Which is basically, I will call these two things the call and response. It's basically some things just to add some variation, because just with the two main melodies, it already sounds pretty good. It already kind of has a vibe. It feels that something is missing, but it's already pretty good, you get what I mean? So let's, the first call, I'll call it, this is the call, and then this one is the response, okay? So let's hear the call. Oops. This is always right here, I don't know why. Oops, what the hell? Okay, so this is a very good sound, you get what I mean? It's like, it has the vibe that I want, you get what I mean? And here you can even see that even if it is it's sounding right here as well, you get what I mean? But I didn't think it was like the biggest problem in the world, you get what I mean? So I was just like, it still sounds good, you get what I mean? And here, this is where I don't see a lot of people doing it, at least, but I really like a lot of the times to just like, to not have the same note here, but like, or to start on a higher note and then lower note, use like that and use not the opposite, at least for me. I don't know, I just feel like it's more entertaining, I don't know. I just feel like it just sounds better, you get what I mean? Okay, so let's the next thing right here. So this is the response you're gonna make. You can see there's a little bit of variation right there, but yeah. So there's like and there's like some reverb. You got what I mean? So together it sounds like oops together. I just always have to put on song right here, but yeah. And right here. You got what I mean? It's like it's just some variations which sounds pretty good. And then for a mix, of course, I put one on the left and on the right. This is a very cool thing to do, especially just when you want so that the melody in general sounds good and not, and you don't want all to sound on the same place. So this is a very cool tip that I recommend you to do that. One of them I just used Fruit Pragmatic IQ and did the normal things I usually do, as I already told you. This one I use Fruit Pragmatic IQ as well. Yeah, this is what I used, and then in this one I used the Fruit Reverb, little bit decay, wet right here. I'll open probably the, I don't know how to call it, but the image stereo of the reverb, something like that. You get, I mean, open more here, not like, I don't want the reverb from like a room, but more like from a type, bigger room, something like that. You know what I mean? So this is what I did. So yeah, it's already sounding like this. So already sounding pretty good. Okay, so the next thing that I use, which is very simple in this case now, because you know when you use the bass or the other way, you have to use the root notes, and here the root notes, they don't go like really down, something like that. So I just use on the same note, and it still sounds pretty good. So it's just like I use a smooth bass, just repeats itself. And it sounds actually pretty good. I thought it was going to sound like kind of boring, but actually it didn't. Okay, and why should you use bass? Because I've analyzed a couple of beats, basically most of the beats from the album, and especially in the beginning, they use a smooth bass. You get what I mean? So I just thought, why not? You get what I mean? And I like to use bass, so it just makes it yeah, basically just sound a little bit better. You get what I mean? I like to use the bass. Okay. Now let's talk about the most, probably one, not the most important one maybe, but probably not more important than the male melody, but the second most important thing. And the thing is like, it's going to make it sound the best. You get what I mean? Which is the vocals. Okay. So this is the vocals. Okay. I basically found no splice. Every sound I found no splice, by the way. I think maybe the best was from a drum kit of mine. But yeah. So basically I found that the vocal and like the vocal you never just download the vocal and sound like this. I had to like structure, and then you can see there is even space right here because there was actually another vocal right here. But I've noticed that this is just some what I'm telling you right now is just like some advice to you, because for example the last vocal, I don't know, was just not sounding very good, or was not combining, was like ooh, and then it was like ooh, I was like it's not combining. So I just deleted that one and just build in a way that's especially starts or on the middle right here, you get what I mean, or on the middle, or right here, you get what I mean, so that it sounds good, you get what I mean. So that's what I did, you get what I mean. And then I usually just I don't know how to call these things, but this is very important, so there's not a cut, you get what I mean. Let me see if I can show. In this case it didn't happen. there's a little bit of a cut if you don't do that. You get what I mean? Just do that. You're gonna notice when you're doing that. You get what I mean? But that's what I did. You get what I mean? The vocal is already pretty mixed already. You get what I mean? So I don't have to do 300 things, but of course I will always do something because they never are the way I wanted it 100%. You get what I mean? So okay. The mix of this, it's basically fruit chromatic IQ. This is very important, okay? You have to lower the low frequencies, but especially the high frequencies, because there's a lot of noise and it just has, you want more to be in the middle, not even super low and high. You want to be in the middle because the low is more like the drums, and if you want to put the drums, you get what I mean? Maybe if you're a loop maker, you don't make drums, but whatever. And then the high frequencies, there's already a lot of high frequencies. You just want something in the middle. It's like, you get what I mean? Let me put it to you how it sounds without the fruit chromatic IQ. So much noise. You can hear. Sounds way more professional audio. So just do this, you get what I mean? Go here and then just go here and then just do this. You get what I mean? Scroll. Oh, sorry. Scroll right here. You just have to scroll right here. You get what I mean? Just do this. Okay, yeah. You just do this. You get what I mean? And then you get the result. You get what I mean? Then just feel. Okay, no. And usually the vocal, I don't like to put like something in the middle on the left or the right side. I like to be in the middle, and yeah, like some image stereo. So yeah, that's it. This is how I made this melody. You got what I mean? I think this is a fire melody. You got what I mean? So basically, now yeah, you can understand like kind of a pattern. You got what I mean? I explained to you kind of a pattern. You got what I mean? Of course, there's no rules. Maybe you do something like I did. You got what I mean? To complement, but it didn't sound good. Whatever. But yeah, it sounds good, especially with the drums right here. Yeah, especially with the vocal, it sounds fire. You got what I mean? So yeah, that's it. You got what I mean? Of course, then you're gonna add some variations and blah blah blah. But yeah, this is basically what you gotta do to make a little baby emotional melody. You got what I mean? Yeah, so that's it. I hope I helped you, brother. Don't forget to subscribe, and yeah, goodbye.